Jake Stevens score. We got any updates on that one?
I will check that again. Again, Everett at halftime, we said 13-6. Meadowdale Mavs 28-0 over Linwood.
Kind of what we expected out of Meadowdale. No surprise there.
See if we Oak Harbor right now, 69 points. Marysville Getchell, nothing. That's a final.
That's a final? They kind of ran up the scoreboard a little bit on that one.
Next week, Tim Boyle for all you 3A fans.
We got Snohomish 34, Arlington 16 with 5 minutes left in the game. That's a big score for all you Panther people out there.
That was an Arlington turnover that led Snohomish had an Arlington territory and they scored. So now, start of fourth quarter action. Aaron Miller, the quarterback, shotgun, goes left. He's got a receiver's wide open. It's caught for a first down all the way to the 40-yard line. Chris Namba with the reception.
Was that Kiana? Was that Wong on the?
I think it was Kiana number 9. Kiana Wong on the coverage and the tackle, but a first down for the Thunderbirds. Nice drive here by Shorewood.
Good, valuable playing time the sophomores are getting tonight.
So 1st and 10 now into Grizzly territory at the 39. Handed off to Eugene Holly. Right side, he breaks the receive. He's hit, and then he's taken down and stumbles forward for a first down, I believe, or very close.
I think they are going to. It's going to be real close.
Josh Pinka again, the linebacker, the sophomore we just talked about.
Not giving it to him. 2nd and inches, Scott.
2nd and just a hair. 49-21, Glacier Peak on top. Shorewood driving here with 10:53 left now in the ball game. Miller hands off to the up back Diaz. He kind of scampers forward, gets a nice pickup. He'll get the first down and get all the way past the 25 up to around the 22-yard line. Michael Palmer on the tackle, junior running back, also defensive stud.
And Shorewood's racking up some rushing yards tonight.
Diaz also getting into the fun, but Eugene Holly now 167 yards on 24 carries. Miller, there you go, Eugene Holly again, and he busts through and he's taken down, gets close to the 15 around the 16-yard line. Another 7-yard carry. He's well on his way to a 200-yard night. And Eugene Holly, his last game, I think it was against Getchell, had 283 yards rushing. Yeah, last week was Montlake Terrace.
Or Montlake Terrace, okay.
They lost to Tony Umayam and the Hawks of Montlake Terrace. Now 2nd and about 4. Hands off to, I think that was 85.
That was
Holly. It was Holly again.
He's gonna be they're giving him the first down, so picked up about 4 or so.
That's his 26th carry of the evening.
Only problem with the style of play is it's chewing up a lot of clock for Shorewood, and that's it's their enemy right now.
Down to the 12. There's Eugene Holly again over the left side, and he breaks a few tackles and gets positive yardage down to inside the 5 to the 4.
It's going to give him a first down, too, I believe. Maybe not. Nope, not quite.
Michael Palmer again, the junior Grizzly on the tackle.
It's going to give him 2nd and 2 on the 4. So they can theoretically pick up a first down here.
186 yards now on the night for Eugene Holly. Guess who? Holly. And he's in there to the blue turf for a touchdown, Thunderbirds. He deserves that. He worked his way all the way down the field.
He did deserve that. And if you notice, he kind of walked in like, ho-hum.
Just a couple of steps came in from the 4-yard line, and that's going to make the Thunderbirds score go up to 27, barring a extra point here by Chris Knapp. It will be 49-28. Glacier Peak. 9:02 left in the ball game. Hold is down. Namba's kick is up.
Looks good.
And it is good.
49-28 Glacier Peak. See if Lenny comes back in on offense and see if we got the starting lineup back on offense. Obviously, they're playing some sophomores on defense, so the touchdown isn't a real big surprise.
Well, tune in just a little. First of all, you want to open your computer tomorrow and go to SnohomishTimes.com, and you'll hopefully see an article tomorrow at some point about this game and some in-depth. We'll have interviews of the coaches afterwards. And then looking ahead a little bit, next Thursday night, not a Friday Night Lights, we're going to do Thursday Night Lights, downtown Snohomish Veterans Memorial Stadium. Tim Boyle will be doing the play-by-play as I am going to be out of town next week on some other work business related activities.
I'm still trying to get you to change your mind and get back here for it, but the reason it's Thursday night is they start those crossover games on the weekend, so they got to get everything done and figured out. So that's why they got a Thursday night game. So we will have Everett Thursday night.
So 49-28, 9:02 left in the ball game. Chris Namba now kicking off for Shorewood. Deep to receive it. He kind of bumbles it. Evan Nelson now at the 30 breaks through and
he lost his footing. Evans that's his third time he's lost his footing tonight. It looks like he had a kind of a break. Looked like he had a hole and he kind of slipped and slid forward about 5 or 6 yards.
Glacier Peak will start this, and again, David Lenny still in at quarterback at their own 42-yard line.
Yeah, starting lineup still in for Glacier Peak. You got Nelson and AK-47. Elledge is out there on wide receiver. Quentin Dunbar's out there.
Dalton Pittis on the far side as the slot receiver, and Sean Elledge on the far side receiver. Lenny hands it off to Carib on the left side. He's got some room to the 45. Kind of headbutts number 23.
Oh, they threw a flag on it. I think it might because they went helmet to helmet.
Nice job.
It didn't look like anything was intentional on that, but definitely a flag on the field.
Dustin Phillips got there first, but then he kind of helmet to helmet there. Levy Diaz, number 23. Nice job. They kind of patted Caribou there.
I think that's a 15-yarder. Didn't look like it was intentional, though.
Head, it will be on Diaz. First down.
See how many yards it goes.
So we go forward, of course, all the
action. It is a 15-yarder. Yeah.
Walks all the way up now into Thunderbird territory at the 39.
That's a tough one to call. It didn't look like it was. It might be one of those they just have to call it.
David Lenny now, the quarterback, back with Caribou and Dunbar. He hands it to Dunbar, the right side. He breaks through and gains about 5 or 6 yards, and Dylan Quigley on the tackle for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Dunbar's getting his number called a lot tonight, which is good after a lot of quiet nights.
Levy Diaz also there, one of the other captains of this Shorewood team.
Got some openings over here. They better fill in.
Yeah, they got to shift over here. Now you got Evan Nelson and Elledge on the near side receivers. Fakes now goes to Elledge. He gets it at the 35. Goes to the center field. Now he breaks out to the left side. He's got Evan Nelson with one block. And he is. Touchdown, Glacier Peak.
Are you kidding me?
Evan Nelson, is that number?
No, that's Elledge. That's Elledge. And that's number 5.
Number 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 touchdowns tonight for Sean Elledge.
That's another dynamic diesel play of the game.
And just like what you probably don't know is I think he just caught Evan Nelson in the touchdown race.
Great block by his good friend Evan Nelson.
Yeah, good heads-up play by Nelson. But the other thing you probably didn't see is how much traffic he was involved in there.
He loves going to the middle of the field.
He does.
Kind of just, he's like in the center lane, and then he likes to pop out to the carpool.
He likes rush hour.
He does.
He likes rush hour and then cheats and uses the HOV lane.
56 with Branson Corwin's extra point went through the uprights. Now Glacier Peak Grizzlies 8:09 left, 56, and the Thunderbirds of Shorewood 22.
Well, I guess the big story of the night is Elledge having 5 touchdowns on the night. That's a big night. That's a big night for high school football.
We'd have to look back into the long archives of Glacier Peak football, see if that is a record or not.
I don't think they've had a player get 5 touchdowns.
You've been to almost every game.
I have been to most of them, yeah.
So they keep scoring touchdowns. Again, brought to you by all the great banners around your screen. Dynamic Diesel, also Kathy Salvadolina, Snohomish Skydiving. McDaniel's Hardware and Garden Center, downtown Snohomish. Mongo's Restaurant in Clearview. I want to thank everybody. Gutter Glove, Gutter Guard. Branson Corwin kicks it off, and they'll let that one go into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
He's got the wind with him again.
So, getting the kind of projecting and looking forward a little bit, Glacier Peak looks like going to take care of business tonight against a Westco 3A division foe. Next week they have the Everett Seagulls. We'll check in on that score here in a little bit. Then after that, looks like the first playoff game, if they do secure that second seed, would be against the Bellevue Wolverines November 4th at Bellevue.
Then that's going to be an interesting matchup. Bellevue's one of the top-ranked teams in the United States.
They are.
What, eight state championships in the last 10 years or something ridiculous like that.
We've got a backup quarter in Drayden Wright now. Drayden Wright, the junior quarterback, in for Thunderbirds. They handed it off and got 2 yards.
Yeah, if you ask the Glacier Peak coaching staff, they'd tell you they're not looking ahead to that game. They're going to take it one step at a time. But that's what we get to do in the media, is we get to talk about stuff like that. But yeah, tough first-round matchup for Glacier Peak.
Angeles Pere with the run last time with the carry. Now Wright hands it off. Looks like a little trouble, but he gets forward, knocks ahead for 3 or 4 yards. Again, that's Dylan Wrigley.
Here comes Josh Elvig and bunch of sophomores coming in the game now.
Quigley, I'm sorry, 44.
Timmy Douglas, Jacobson's coming out.
Carson Call, Freightliner, Neil Drewliner getting the night.
Getting the rest of the night off, more than likely.
So Drayden Wright, the quarterback, number 7 for the Thunderbirds, now pitches it to Pere. Pere is caught up in the backfield, and he's taken down.
Number 22.
And that's Colin Park, the senior, 5'9", 170-pound Glacier Peak defensive back there. 4th and 6 now on their own 24 as bring Chris Namba back to punt. Glacier Peak up big, 56-28 with 6:07 left to go in the ball game.
And Scott, we got Branson Corwin back to Ooh,
a high.
Shanked the punt.
That one's not going to make it out of the outfield, and that's drops around the 37, and that's where they'll get it.
That's only going to net him about, 10, 15 yards maybe. Glacier Peak's going to get the ball on the Shorewood about 37-yard line, so great field position for Glacier Peak. And who do we got at quarterback here? Chris Scott is coming in at quarterback.
The junior. Played a little defense earlier in the first quarter. Now he gets some time with the QB. So Snohomish scores again. Again, they're 34-16, the Snohomish Panthers over Arlington.
That's got to be about over, Scott, with that game.
Just about. 1st and 10 now for Glacier Peak. Drops it, and he's going to get hit in the backfield.
That's going to be about a 10, 12-yard loss on that. And Becerra's a little bit rusty.
Dustin Phillips there on the tackle started licking his chops when he saw the ball go down.
Well, good heads-up play by Becerra to get it back, but he's got to do a better job holding on to that. Kind of squirted right out of his hands.
Becerra now, loss of 11 yards, so 2nd and 22. Now he hands it off to
44.
Josh Pinka.
Josh Pinka.
Who got some nice tackles on the defensive side. Picks up a couple of yards. 3rd down and 22 now, they're saying. All kinds of youngsters in there for Glacier Peak. Colin Park now on the far side. Lane 15 on the near side. Becerra fakes it. Now he takes it himself up the middle. Taken down by this second-string quarterback for Shorewood, Drayden Wright. Picks up about 4 or 5. Leaves him now at 4th and 16.
Gets him back. Well, it shouldn't be 4th and 16. He's back to the line of scrimmage.
4th and 10.
4th and 10, yeah.
Can't trust that score.
You can't. Looks like they're going to go for it. They may as well. They're at about the 37-yard line. No reason to punt from there.
Good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Becerra now, he's going to hand it off to Pinka. Pinka up the middle. He's not going to get the first down, but he gives a carry of about 4 or 5. Josh Pinka, a nice kid, he was doing the team video in the JV game against Archbishop Murphy. Had a hamstring, lives in Marysville.
Lives up in Marysville.
Parents very dedicated. Dustin Phillips on the tackle there for Shorewood. Also with Dylan Quigley. But seemed like a great kid. Loves playing at Glacier Peak. And he's had a hamstring injury most of the season. Was part of that sophomore, part of that undefeated freshman class last year.
Oh, he's only a sophomore. Okay, very good. He's got a couple good years left.
So backup quarterback Drayden Wright again. Glacier Peak up 50. Last few minutes, and that's Perry. On Hill is Perry. Carries, and we're just about at the 3-minute mark. And Josh Elvig gets the tackle.
The big Josh Elvig gets the tackle and runs off the field. He's happy to get in the mix.
I'm sure we'll see a highlight of that one. Todd Elvig, the cameraman outside the booth, says absolutely, yes sir, yes
proud, proud Papa out there.
Papa. Drayden Wright now the quarterback. Looking at 2nd and short, hands it off to the up back. Dylan Quigley.
Quigley down under.
And he gets a first down. Brock just on the tackle for Glacier Peak.
Coming down to the 2-minute mark. Keep in mind the high school football, we don't stop at the 2-minute warning.
See Alexander Hemrick, 79, come off, and there's Elliott coming off the field. Now the coaching staff at Glacier Peak trying to time in. 1:57, Glacier Peak up big, 56-28. Drayden Wright now hands off to Perry, and Perry's up the middle, and he stutter steps, gets a little bit more going, and crosses the 45 to the 44. Nice little second burst.
Absolutely.
On Hillis Perry.
Looks like every play you see Coach Rowe, or it's either Coach Rowe or Steve Hannon, defensive coordinator. They're making all kinds of adjustments, like you said, trying to get everybody in the game here.
Noah Palmafy on the tackle there for Glacier Peak. Leaves him 2nd and 4 to go in the game. Drayden Wright now hands it off, and he is crushed as he gets the ball by number 66, big Nolan Dale. Actually got to spend another sophomore, got to hang out with him in the old booth at Glacier Peak. He was running the scoreboard. He was getting heckled by the Archbishop Murphy fans.
Was he?
Oh my gosh. He
what were they heckling him for?
Well, they have a wireless scoreboard there. It's not perfect.
Oh, okay.
So he wouldn't stop it, and some fans would come up to the booth, and young Nolan was, I don't know what I'm doing. Drayden Wright now. Hands off to the up back, and he's met there by a group of young Grizzlies.
And that's probably going to do it for us, Scott. It's probably the last play of the game right there.
Stick around. Tim and I will wrap this up. Look forward to next Thursday night against the Everett Seagulls. Tim Boyle.
That was a heartbreaker.
Tim talked about the big story. Sean Elledge on the receiving. 4 receptions, 59 yards, 14.8 average, 3 touchdowns by receiving and 2 by his own 2 feet, getting into the end zone, and then Evan Nelson coming back with a big night, 4 catches for 58 yards.
And surprisingly, you see, Elledge surprisingly only had 4 catches, but he was kind of all over the field tonight. He recovered some fumbles, he intercepted, kickoff returns, he was just kind of everywhere tonight.
And big Alex Caribou, the senior, number 47, AK-47, kind of quietly had a nice night. 14 carries, 118 yards, averaging 8+ a carry, 35-yard long. Didn't get in the touchdown, had to sacrifice that to his teammates Nelson and Elledge, but a great night. Looks like Alex Caribou is off the injury and he's back full speed.
He is, and at Carrot, he should be saying, "Hey, I'm the senior here. I'm rushing for 118 yards. Get me into the end zone." But he'll get there. He's been there a bunch this year, so he'll be back there probably next week.
Well, that's going to wrap it up. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast on the Snohomish Times Sports Network, STSPN.com. Get to all of our advertisers. A final here tonight, Glacier Peak 56, Shorewood 28. For Scott Oshman, Tim Boyle, executive producer Todd Elvig, Ron Henthorne, our spotter, and Johnny Stats McLean on Statisticians. I want to thank everybody and say so long from Shoreline Stadium. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.